I'm going to be sharing with you in this video the most obvious way to manifest anything that most people forget. They just forget how obvious it is to attract. I'm going to be sharing with you in this video the most obvious way to attract anything that most people forget. They just forget how obvious it is. Because I think that, personally for me in my past, so I can't really speak for others, but for me personally, I used to get so lost in all these different ways to attract what I want. Not to say that, it's not true that you can attract something, but I forgot the basicness, not necessity, but the basic just function of just naturally being a human and just knowing that I can have what I want and I'll attract the things if I want. If I do what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video that you can do as well. And I realized that's just how simple it is, and I want to share this with you so that you don't need to make your journey of getting what you want unnecessarily difficult. Why make it more difficult than it has to be? I'm all for putting in the work and you could say working hard, but I have many videos around my perspective on that. And I'm all for putting in the work and taking the action, but my thing is why make it harder than it has to be? If it has to be a certain level of difficulty that you believe to get what you want, you believe you have to make it that hard, then okay, then do that if you believe you have to. But if you believe it can be easier, then why not do that? Why make it unnecessarily stressful or unnecessarily hard? I'm going to be sharing with you in this video exactly how to do this so that you can get what you want and just make it normal and make it obviously natural. And I think that we all have a deeper intelligence where we know that it's just how it is. And I'm going to share with you in this video how to do that. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to hit that notification bell. Also, if you want to work with me in one-on-one personally, right now I'm only doing single sessions as well as email coaching. The details for both of those things are going to be down below. Now, the first thing that I want to share with you is really obvious, but it's to set a goal. Personally for me, I used to be so afraid to set goals because the biggest thing for me that came up was the fear of lack. Oh my gosh, what if I'm not going to be able to do this? If I focus all my energy on this thing that I want now, and I consistently focus on this daily, oh my gosh, I'm committing my life to this one thing. What about all these other things? But I've realized that the fear of lack is quite literally illogical and makes no sense, because I find that many things in my life are interconnected and all the desires that I have are intertwined. And the more that I really focus on that one thing that I want now and I set a specific goal, it actually allows me to then have this sort of momentum and self-trust, which is going to help me accomplish anything else that I really want in my life. And it's just become so easy because self-trust is an overall character trait. So if I'm setting a goal and I'm dedicating myself to that goal, whatever that is, I now have an attribute and the overall character where I have self-trust, which helps me to get anything. It helps me to get anything that I want. It doesn't matter really what it is. So it might sound obvious. It's well, Francis, you're making this video, isn't it sounds so obvious, it's why you're making this video, but it's that's the thing that I want to share in this video. Is that oftentimes we go through all these, through hours of research. Not to say that research is bad. We watch hundreds of YouTube videos. We ask many people for help. And it's well, how about this? Have you actually set a goal? Have you ever just decided in your mind? Have you set a goal? Have you wrote it down? Have you ever taken that step to write down your goal? Or create I don't know, an affirmation or something, some direction to go? Have you even done that? Because most of the times we're asking people for help and we're looking for the research and it's we haven't even figured out what we want. And if you're asking people for help in terms of to helping you find what you want, I can understand that. But at some point though, it's you have to decide for yourself what you actually want. You know what I mean? Just set the goal. You gotta set a goal. It's obvious, but that's the first step. To attract anything is to have a decisive and clear direction. For me personally, I've realized that when I set a concrete and firm goal, and I know exactly what I want, it just becomes so obviously clear on how to get that goal. And it comes in pretty fast. Like it's not like yes, it requires action, but it's not necessarily like hard. It's like, in fact, when I know what I want, I just get it. I don't know how else to say it. I just get it. It just comes into my experience. But the first step is to actually set the goal. And that was my biggest sticking point. Let me know in the comments down if you can relate to this, was the fear of setting a goal. It's so obvious, but I really wasted, I can't even tell you, probably years of my life wasted down the drain. Of course, I don't want to say wasted because I see it as a lesson. And if I didn't have that contrast, I wouldn't be able to have such a concrete and firm conviction around how powerful this is. It's so simple. It's like, right, it's so simple. Why are you recording a video? It's such a simple concept. I've already heard that before. But it's so simple, but like, is it really sinking in the significance of how simply, how powerful this is? Like, has it landed? That's my question to you. Has it landed? Yes, what I'm saying is simple, but has it landed how powerful it is that, setting a goal already is going to separate you from like 99% of people. Just deciding on something, just being decisive and knowing what you want moment to moment. And of course, thinking of the bigger picture, setting committed goals for long term is also, I think, important. Like, just to have that is already going to separate you from like so many people. And I think it's so critical to understand how powerful this is. Now, the second thing that I want to share with you is the more interesting part to this that, I think a lot of people don't really talk about. And it's just to be normal. Just to be normal. Once you know what you want, you think that you need to do all this strenuous activity and like pretend to be something that you're not. And you know what? I do agree in the whole fake it till you make it kind of thing, because what is the word action? Action literally means to act. It means you're acting. So when you see actors acting in a movie, they're literally playing a character. They're playing a character. You could say that on one level, it's not really who they are. They're just playing a character. On another level, and another way of explaining it, is that it literally becomes who they are. So simultaneously, there's an awareness that it's not who they really are, and it is a character, and they are acting. On another level, there's so much presence and so much energy focused on being this role that it becomes who they are. And I want to share with you that this process of becoming something and attracting something, I want you to understand that in my experience, the key to really do this effectively and to do this powerfully is to remove any ideas that it has to be strenuous and that it has to be difficult, and to allow it to be normal. And I want you to also consider the possibility that this whole idea and concept of it being normal becomes very normal when you set the goal. Because most people think like, well, how can it just be normal? Isn't it take hard work to do this? I mean, to some degree, you have to put in the work and take the action. But in my experience, once you have the goal, once you know where you're going, you can just take the proper steps to get there. And just don't be weird. Just don't be weird. Like, if this is for anything. If you want more money, okay, for money, set a goal for how much money you want. Think of some ideas. Maybe you get a job. Maybe you need a part-time job. Maybe you need 2 part-time jobs. Maybe you need to get 2 part-time jobs. And you also need to talk to somebody else around, some business advice where they have the money that you want. Maybe you need to also start a business, right? Okay, yep, I have a goal, know what I want. I have a general plan of the action you take. And now what do you do? Just be normal. If you need a part-time job, walk into the place, figure out how to get the job, and just be normal. If you're running a business and you need to attract clients, just be normal. Honesty is a big part of this. If you don't have money and you're trying to attract money, just be normal. It's like people often think they need to do these weird, like, gimmicky strategies and like weird things. Like, for me personally, When I'm in a coaching call or I'm in like a business conversation, I'm just normal. I'm just obvious about where I'm at and what I'm doing and what my goals are. Yes, here's my goal. Here's the truth. That's it. And it doesn't feel weird in my body because I'm just being honest and I'm just being normal. If you want a relationship, let's say you want a romantic partnership, let's say that's what you want, just be normal. Stop trying. I'm going to go to the next point in a second here. Stop doing these weird gimmicky techniques and strategies that you found on the internet that you know doesn't feel right to you, and yet you're being completely out of integrity with who you are and the honest truth of the situation. Just be normal. You'd be so surprised how far honesty can go if you know where you're going and you just are honest about the situation, where you're at and where you want to go. Not saying you have to be so open and honest that you share everything to the world about your personal life that you don't feel comfortable resonating with to share. That's also not being normal. Being normal means just be normal. It means that, you present yourself in a way that feels good to that person. You don't like overly share information because it's weird. People don't want to know like information about you that just doesn't feel right in the moment, and it's too much maybe because you haven't built the connection. Just be normal. It's just common sense. It's basic emotional common sense. If something feels awkward, it's probably awkward. People feel what you feel, right? So if you have a goal and something feels very misaligned and awkward on which that goal, you're probably right. If somebody comes to you and you're getting really weird energy off of them, it's like something feels off, you're probably right. Just being normal. People will literally feel, and I feel that we've disconnected. I personally did it for the longest time. So again, I can only speak for myself here, but if you're anything like my past self, I was extremely disconnected from just basic common sense on the journey of figuring out how to get what I want. When I stopped figuring out how to get what I want and I just decided on a goal and it was just normal, you'd be surprised how things started to move forward in a, I don't want to say effortless way, because there's going to be challenges, there's going to be sticking points, but if it became too awkward and too weird, I just pulled back and I did the normal thing that made sense to me. Just have common sense. It's just basic common sense. Basic common sense. And you'd be surprised, right? You'd be surprised how much more effective this is than all these weird things that you've probably been conditioned to believe you have to do. Here's the thing. All these weird things that don't feel right to you on the way to what you want, you know what that is? That's conditioning. It's conditioning. It's something you picked up along the way that is not true to your heart. Yeah, it's cliche, your heart. But when I'm saying your heart, I mean basic emotional common sense. So to conclude this video, what I'm trying to share here is stop trying to attract the thing. It's very weird when you try to attract a relationship. It's very weird when you walk into a job interview and you try to get the job. It's very weird because the person can literally sense the inauthenticity and the awkwardness radiating from your being. Why? Because you're just trying too hard. You've disconnected from being normal, common sense. Just be normal. Have basic common sense. Have basic logic. Logic and emotions are connected. If you're not being logical, it's gonna feel weird. Being very illogical and not having common sense feels emotionally weird for you and other people. That's just how it is. It's just the truth. So instead of trying to get that job, walk in and just be normal. Talk to the person, figure how to get the job, do the steps, take the steps that they've told you to do, and just leave. And then carry on with your life and do the next normal thing. One foot in front of the other foot and just be normal. Just be normal and do it. That's it. Stop trying to get what you want. Stop trying to attract what you want and just do it. Here's the thing that I want to conclude this video with. Just do the thing. Whatever that thing is, just do it. If you want to blow up your channel, just record the video and just do the thing. Okay? If you want to manifest a business conversation with somebody, just do the thing. Schedule the call. Just do the thing. Be normal. If you don't have the energy to do it, because maybe you feel a little bit sluggish and tired because you haven't rested enough, go to sleep. Don't message the person if you don't feel right, because they're gonna feel that off of you. Be normal. Stop trying so hard. If you know you haven't slept, if you know you maybe haven't showered that day or something because you just came from like a sweaty workout or something strenuous, maybe don't message that person yet, because they're gonna feel weird vibes off of you. Isn't that common sense? But we start thinking, like, oh my gosh, what if I used to just, what if I missed the opportunity in this. But if you take action based on that fear of what if I missed the opportunity, you're gonna be weird, you're gonna be awkward. Isn't that common sense? Isn't that just basic common sense? So yeah, just do the thing. Just schedule the call, schedule the interview, message the person. You want a job, send the resume or whatever it is, right? But be normal when you do it. Don't be awkward. Don't be weird. But Francis, how do I be? How? I'm really weird, Francis. How do I do it? Stop being weird. How do you do that? Stop not listening to your basic common sense. I believe the reason why we get weird in the first place, and like how does somebody become awkward? And how does somebody get to a point in their life where they're genuinely like awkward and weird and like doing all, because you know what I think? I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. This is just my opinion. Because they forgot how to listen to their basic intelligence and instinct, basic common sense, somewhere along the journey. You just forgot to be normal. And you've convinced yourself that you have to try hard and learn and this, and you've adopted this identity where you need to fix something that's wrong, and how do I do this? It's like, no, go back to the basic roots of common sense and just be normal. Stop trying to get the thing. Just be normal and do it. Just do the thing. Do the action. Just do the basic thing. If you know you have to do something to get what you want, just do the thing and be normal while doing it. And you'd be incredibly surprised how effective this is at attracting what you want. Okay, with that I conclude this. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about this? Can you relate to this at all? For me, this is a really, I don't want to say passion topic, but it's like a topic that is just so obvious to me. There's a little bit of passion there because it's just so obviously effective and useful. After years of struggling, I'm like, okay, it's just so easy because it's obviously natural. Let me know in the comments below, can you relate to this? Once again, if you want to work with me one-on-one personally, the only way to do that right now is to do number 1, single sessions, number 2, email coaching. It's the only ways to get in contact with me. So if you want to work with me in any of those 2 ways, all the details for both of those things will be down below. As always, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next